our monthly online just-in-time training tutorial titled, Giving and Receiving Feedback. This session will look at the importance of giving and receiving feedback effectively. This online session is presented by CLRG Training Seminars. The objectives for this course are: state the importance of giving and receiving feedback, identify how to give positive feedback, and explain how to give constructive feedback. So let's begin. What is feedback? Feedback: give it, receive it, ask for it, use it. Feedback is one of the best learning sources there is. Without it, most adults would not learn or improve. Good, constructive feedback enables us to learn as we do and to learn from mistakes. Feedback can be positive, as a praise and recognition, or negative. Both are important, and as a manager, you will need to give both. Giving and receiving positive feedback. Think about it. How often do you give positive feedback? The chances are that you don't give enough. And do you get enough? Once again, the answer would probably be negative. Despite that, clear and specific positive feedback is one of the easiest and affordable motivating forces in existence. But it may not be as simple as it seems. Let's now take a look at these two examples of positive feedback on the next two slides. Scenario Example 1.
That was a great. Brilliant. Well done.
Now let's take a look at Scenario Example 2.
I think this is a very good piece of work. I really like the way you plan the process out in a structured way before starting it.
Which feedback did you prefer? Let's discuss each one. The first piece of feedback, however positive, has an air of insincerity about it. It is not personal. With the second example, the giver was both thoughtful and specific enough to have noticed and remarked on something particular about the work, something that the receiver may have spent a lot of time on. The feedback giver is also direct, from me to you, making the statement personal. The receiver will feel that he or she is genuinely pleased and has thought carefully about it. Receiving feedback is a skill. Think about the feedback you receive. How do you normally react to receiving feedback, positive and negative, and why? You probably feel that you are generally able to accept feedback, but you don't like negative feedback. Nobody does. You might also have thought that, considering how much feedback is available, you probably don't ask for it as often as you would like. Welcome to constructive feedback. Colleagues around you may notice things, both positive and negative. The more you seek out feedback, the more honest colleagues will be. Asking for feedback, then listening to it and reflecting on it, is the one certain way of developing self-awareness and skill. In everyday situations, people don't give honest, specific feedback unless they are asked to do so. Don't defend your position. Telling the colleague that their feedback is wrong is not constructive and will mean that you are not given honest feedback in the future. Make your choice on how to use the feedback. Feedback can be a gift allowing you to grow and develop as a person, in your role. Receiving negative feedback is uncomfortable. When it is given badly, insensitively, as generalized criticism or in spite, it can be very upsetting. You can make it easier for yourself by anticipating it, by asking for it, and by being open to it as a learning experience rather than seeing it as a personal attack. If you ask for it, you can decide who gives it to you, and choose someone whose opinion you respect, and that helps. It's also easier if you can see it as positive and useful. Giving negative but constructive feedback. Accurate and honest feedback from someone who knows what they are talking about and who, where necessary, suggests alternatives, is the key to improvement. Genuine feedback, honestly, skillfully given and intended to be helpful, is worth its weight in gold. Giving difficult feedback. When giving difficult feedback, keep the following points in mind. Think about the person receiving it. Think about what you want to achieve by giving it. Look at mistakes as opportunities to learn and be conscious of your timing. Here are some additional feedback tips to consider. Give the feedback as soon as possible after the event. Don't wait until the problem occurs. If either you or the receiver is angry or upset, it may be better to allow some recovery time. Give yourself enough time to give the feedback and talk about it. Make sure that you will not be interrupted, and also be sensitive to surroundings and your environment. Always give feedback in private. You also want to avoid critical terminology that could be seen as a personal attack. If either you or the receiver is angry or upset, it may be better to allow some recovery time. Here's an example of not avoiding critical terminology.
This just highlights your lack of ability to deal with customer complaints.
There may be another point of view. Listen to it and take explanations or mitigating circumstances into account. You should always own the feedback. Use words like, I feel, see or hear you. Not, you. Here's an example of what you shouldn't say.
Your work never meets the deadline.
Remember, your feedback is only your perception, others may disagree. Watch the language you use and the message it sends out. Start with a positive statement, if you can. Beware of using but or however. You now have a better understanding of the importance of giving and receiving effective feedback. Remember, feedback is a gift, it's your choice to accept it or act on it. We hope you enjoyed the just-in-time tutorial. For additional professional development training resources and services designed with your industry in mind, please visit our website www.clrussellgroup.com or call us 301-333-2574.